Prime Minister Narendra Modi will inaugurate 1,75,000 houses built under the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Gramin in Madhya Pradesh in the presence of Chief Minister today. The scheme has been instrumental in building 1 crore 14 lakh houses across the country. Delhi Metro becomes fully operational today. All lines operate from 6 a.m. till 11 p.m. The airport metro resumes its services too. Indian Railways to run additional 40 pairs of special trains from today. Bookings for these trains started 2 days earlier. Centre exhorts the northeastern states to actively break the chain of transmission. Early detection, aggressive testing led to a few positive cases in the region. US President Donald Trump announces Israel-Bahrain deal to establish full diplomatic ties and called the development a historic breakthrough to further peace in the Middle East. Gold mine collapses in Democratic Republic of Congo following heavy rains. 50 people fear dead in the tragedy. And Alexander Zverev enters the Grand Slam final for the first time and is the first German man to play in the US Open final since Michael Stick in 1994. Will clash with Dominic Thiem. Good morning, welcome to English News. I am Anil Thomas. Now for the stories in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will participate in the inauguration and PRAVESHAM ceremony of 1,75,000 houses built under the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Gramin in Madhya Pradesh via video conference. Madhya Pradesh Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan will also be present on the occasion. All of these houses have been built during the current challenging COVID-19 pandemic period. Prime Minister had given a clarion call of housing for all by 2022, for which a flagship program of Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Gramin was launched on the 20th of November 2016. So far, 1 crore 14 lakh houses have already been built across the country under this program. In Madhya Pradesh, 17 lakh poor households have benefited from this scheme till now. Under the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Gramin, each beneficiary is given 100% grant of 1,20,000 rupees with a sharing ratio of 60:40 between the centre and the state. In addition to the unit assistance, the beneficiaries are provided support of unskilled labour wages for 90 to 95 days under the Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme and assistance of 12,000 rupees for construction of toilets through Swachh Bharat Mission or any other dedicated source of funding. Well, Delhi Metro today resumed its full service with the Airport Express line reopening after over 5 months due to COVID-19 pandemic. All corridors of the metro network are now in operation and the timing of services will follow the pre-COVID-19 schedule of 6 a.m. to 11 p.m. The frequency of the trains during non-peak hours will be the same as peak hours, so people can follow staggered timings for their journeys and still avail metro services. The DMRC has appealed to people to use the rapid metro or the rapid transport system only if urgently needed. The metro services were closed on March 22nd to contain the spread of novel coronavirus. Metro services will commence at 8 a.m. on Sunday from September 20th from all such sections which had this practice in vogue before the lockdown also. However, metro operations will start at 6 a.m. this Sunday to help the students to attend to the NEET exams. In a bid to cater to the increasing demands, Indian Railways is operating 40 pairs of additional special trains on specific routes from today. Reservations for these trains have begun since September 10th. The trains will be fully reserved, and in addition to the special trains that are already under operation, the composition and route of these trains will be as per the existing regular trains. These trains will have both AC and non-AC classes and general coach with reserved seats. There will be no unreserved coaches. 4 pairs of these trains will operate in the Northeast Frontier Railway area. At present, 230 special passenger trains are running, connecting different cities of the country by following necessary COVID-19 guidelines. Of the 230 special trains, 15 pairs of passenger special AC trains are being run since May 12th, while 100 pairs started operating from June 1st. The result for JEE Mains 2020 was announced on Friday, with 24 students scoring 100 percentile in the engineering entrance exam. The ranks of the candidates have been decided taking into consideration better of the 2 NTA scores of all candidates appearing in the JEE Main in January and September 2020 examinations. The exam was conducted from September 1st to 6th amid stringent precautions and social distancing measures in view of the COVID-19 pandemic. Meanwhile, Union Education Minister Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank has congratulated the toppers of JEE exams. In a tweet, he said, and I quote, "I also thank everyone involved in the JEE exam and for the declaring of results. This is the testimony of the spirit of cooperative federalism and young Aatmanirbhar Bharat under Prime Minister Modi's leadership. Despite the odds, we prove ourselves." Based on the results of the JEE Mains Paper 1 and Paper 2, the top 2,45,000 candidates will be eligible to appear for the JEE Advanced exam, which is a one-stop examination to get admission into the 23 premier Indian Institute of Technology, that's the IIT. JEE Advanced is scheduled to take place on September 27th. Well, China will today hand over 5 missing Arunachal Pradesh youths. Union Minister Kiren Rijiju in a tweet on Friday said the Chinese People's Liberation Army has confirmed to the Indian Army to hand over the youths from Arunachal Pradesh to the Indian side. He further added that the handing over is likely to take place anytime today at a designated location. The 5 boys from Arunachal Pradesh were missing since September 1st. In a major relief to elderly persons, the government has relaxed the existing timeline for submission of life certificate. All central government pensioners can submit life certificate from 1st of November 2020 to the 31st of December this year. Earlier, this used to be only for the month of November for maintaining continuity of pension. However, the pensioners in the age group of 80 years and above can submit life certificate from the 1st of October to the 31st of December this year. During this extended period, the pensioners will be continued to be paid by the pension disbursing authorities, that's the PDAs, uninterrupted. Minister of State for Personnel, Public Grievances and Pension, Dr. Jitendra Singh said the decision was taken in view of the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic and the vulnerability of elderly population to coronavirus. In addition to it, pension disbursing banks have been asked to explore the methodology for obtaining a life certificate from the pensioner to the extent permitted by the RBI guidelines in order to avoid the rush at the bank branches. The Election Commission has issued revised guidelines for publicizing details of criminal antecedents by candidates and the political parties regarding candidates nominated by them. As per the revised guidelines, the candidates as well as the political parties regarding candidates nominated by them will publish the details of the criminal antecedents, if any, in newspapers and television. The first publicity will be within the first 4 days of the last day of withdrawal. The second publicity will be from the 5th to the 8th day of the last day of withdrawal. The third publicity will be from the 9th day till the last day of campaigning, which is 2 days prior to the date of the poll. The EC has said that the uncontested winner candidates as well as the political parties who nominate them shall also publicize the criminal antecedents. The Election Commission has said that the timeline will help the voter in exercising their choice in a more informed manner. India and the United States have discussed a range of bilateral, regional and multilateral issues at the 2+2 inter-sessional meeting on Friday. At the virtual meeting, both sides discussed issues on combating COVID-19, counter-terrorism and India's membership at the UN Security Council and the efforts to counteract recent destabilizing actions in South Asia and the broader Indo-Pacific region. They agreed to further strengthen consultation through the United States, India, Australia, Japan quadrilateral consultations. The progress and developments in the bilateral ties since the last 2+2 ministerial meeting was also reviewed. United States also underscored the importance of India's status as a major defense partner. India and the US are expected to hold 2+2 ministerial dialogue later this year. Well, time now to take a look at the update on COVID-19 from across the country. India has been continuously reporting a high number of recoveries every day. 81,533 recoveries were reported yesterday, that's on Friday, taking the cumulative total of recovered patients to 36,24,196. With this, the recovery rate currently stands at 77.77%. India's three-pronged strategy of test, trace and treat is proving to be a success. The fatality rate has dropped to 1.66% with 77,472 deaths being recorded so far. The number of active cases in India stand at 9,58,316, which is 20.56% of the total cases reported. The gap between percent of recorded cases and percent of active cases has been progressively growing wide. According to the Health Ministry, more than 3/4 of the total cases are of recovered and discharged patients of COVID-19, while the active cases is less than 1/4 of the total cases. The center-led COVID management strategies have focused on early detection through widespread, easy and aggressive testing. According to the ICMR latest data, 10,91,251 people have been tested in a single day. That's on Friday. The total number of people tested so far stand at 5,51,89,226. Well, time now to take a look at updates on COVID-19 from across the world. Over 2,86 lakh coronavirus cases have been reported worldwide, with over 9,19,000 deaths being reported. Over 2,05 lakh people have recovered from the virus so far. United States continues to top the list among the worst hit by the pandemic so far, with the highest number of infections and fatalities. United States has over 66,36,000 cases of coronavirus, with the death toll over 1,97,000 people. Moving to international stories, the Gulf state of Bahrain and Israel have reached a landmark deal to fully normalize their relations. US President Donald Trump has announced on Friday, after he spoke by phone to Bahrain's King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Trump hailed the deal as a historic breakthrough. Bahrain will join Israel and the UAE for a signing ceremony at the White House on September 15th.
This is a truly historic day. There had been 2 peace agreements with Israel in the last 72 years. This is now the 2nd peace agreement that we've announced in the last month, and I am very hopeful that there will be more to follow. In the spirit of peace and cooperation, both leaders also agreed that Bahrain will fully normalize its diplomatic relations with Israel. They will exchange embassies and ambassadors, begin direct flights between their countries, and launch cooperation initiatives across a broad range of sectors, including health, business, technology, education, security, and agriculture.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu praised Bahrain's decision to normalize relations with Israel. Netanyahu called next week's meeting in Washington, D.C. a great historic moment of peace. Friday's deal makes Bahrain the fourth Arab country to reach such an agreement with Israel. Well, historic peace negotiations between the Taliban and the elected Afghan government began in Doha today. The direct intra-Afghan talks are being held after the Afghan government released the last batch of 6 Taliban prisoners on Thursday. The talks are the next step after the U.S.-Taliban agreement on the withdrawal of U.S. troops from the country. It is a historic moment as for the first time the Taliban that does not recognize the Afghan government is sitting across the table with government and other delegates to discuss the future of the country. Negotiations to broker a comprehensive peace deal were to anticipate in a troop withdrawal pact signed between the U.S. and the Taliban in February in an attempt to find a political settlement to end the war. The intra-Afghan talks were originally scheduled to begin on March 10th. Well, at least 50 people have been killed after a gold mine collapse in East Congo. The artisanal gold mine collapsed near Kamituga in the east of the Democratic Republic of Congo. The incident took place following heavy rains. Mining accidents are common in unregulated artisanal mines in Congo, with dozens of deaths every year in mines where often ill-equipped diggers burrow deep underground in search for ore. A landslide at the disused gold mine killed 16 in October last year, while 43 illegal miners died in another landslide at the copper and cobalt mine in June 2019. Well, on to sports, Dominic Thiem reached his first U.S. Open final and became the first Austrian to reach a singles final in Flushing Meadows. He beat Daniil Medvedev in straight sets 6-2, 7-6, 7-6. He will meet Alexander Zverev in the final. Earlier, Alexander Zverev completed a stunning comeback in the U.S. Open semi-final to beat Pablo Carreno Busta of Spain in a 5-set thriller. He won 3-6, 2-6, 6-3, 6-4, 6-3 to reach his maiden Grand Slam final. Seeded 5th, Zverev fight back to beat Pablo Carreno Busta in 5 sets. Carreno Busta won the first 2 sets 6-3, 6-2 and looked in control before Zverev, who was struggling with form, bounced back. He took the next 3 sets 6-3, 6-4, 6-3 in a topsy-turvy semi-final. With this, he also became the youngest Grand Slam finalist since Djokovic at the 2010 US Open. After a long time, you see a German there in a US Open final. The last time a German reached the US Open final was when Michael Stick reached the US Open final way back in 1994. Well, back home, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will participate in the inauguration and PRAVESHAM ceremony of 1,75,000 houses built under the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Gramin in Madhya Pradesh via video conferencing. Madhya Pradesh Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan will also be present on the occasion. All of these houses have been built during the current challenging COVID-19 pandemic period. Prime Minister had given a clarion call of housing for all by 2022, for which a flagship program of Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Gramin was launched on the 20th of November 2016. So far, 1 crore 14 lakh houses have already been built across the country under this program. Well, for more on this, Arun Sharma, our correspondent, joining us this morning. Arun, this particular construction has happened during that COVID pandemic times. So even COVID doesn't come in the way when it comes to construction and the dream of housing for all by 2022.
Good morning, Anil, and that's right. Now, this also shows the commitment of the government that it's on a path of providing housing for all by 2022. when Prime Minister Narendra Modi-led government came to power in 2014, Housing for All project was one of the topmost priority project of the government and Prime Minister Narendra Modi as far as providing housing for all. Now, there are two subsets as far as the housing for all concept is concerned. When Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Gramin, number one, and Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Urban. So yes, the focus of the government is on construction of housing activities and construction of houses by 2022 and providing housing for all by 2022. So important part is that you'll be surprised to know, Anil, that the rate at which the housing construction activity is going on in a rural area is much higher than the housing construction activity taking place in urban area. This also shows that how focus of the government is on rural area primary, so that more and more houses can be constructed. So the target of the government is to construct 2.95 crore houses by 2022 as far as Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Gramin is concerned. Now there are a couple of things that we should know. Now as of now, Anil, one important part is that that these houses are being constructed with latest technologies and new methods as of now, which is reducing the time of the construction, and it is also reducing the cost of the construction of the houses as far as the houses are concerned. There is a technology called prefab technology that is being used under both the Awas Yojana, that is Awas Yojana Gramin and Awas Yojana Urban as well. Now in prefab technology, what happens actually, Anil, that already made or manufactured walls, ceilings, and of course windows, doors, they are already made up in the industries or the factories. Now they are being assembled at a place where houses where the houses are supposed to be constructed. So prefab technology is being adopted in many places as far as Awas Yojana Gramin and Awas Yojana Urban is concerned, and that's the reason the rate at which this housing construction activity is taking place is much higher as of now, because gone are the days when we used to use the brick and mortar or the cement and the brick kind of concept for construction of houses. Now in the hilly region, northeastern region primarily, in tough terrains, in regions like Ladakh, this new technology, new methods are being adopted, which is reducing the cost of construction of houses by 40 to 50%. It is also reducing the cost of the construction and of course the time taken as far as the construction of houses is concerned. Second important part is that government is geotagging all these houses as far as the construction activity is taking place. Now, until earlier, what used to happen? The government used to sanction the money, but whether the house is being constructed or not, what is the status of the construction of the house, that was unknown. Okay. Many times it happened earlier in earlier days, in earlier schemes of the Awas Yojana, that the fund was transferred by the government, but there was no house construction activity taking place. But now a geotagging technology is being adopted, so that whatever is the phases of the construction, now various phases of construction of the houses, that can be monitored online by the government sitting in the Delhi. So yes, it is more transparent in nature. There is no corruption involved as far as this housing activity or Awas Yojana is concerned. So the beneficiary's account directly gets credited up to 1,20,000 rupees as far as Awas Yojana is concerned. So the moment the house construction activity completes, it gets completed, a photograph is uploaded via geotagging method, and of course you can get the status of the house in real time as well, as far as what is the current construction activity that is taking place as far as house is concerned. So yes, this primarily gives more way to transparency as well as far as housing construction activity is concerned, and that's the reason, no matter the COVID time is there or not, government is committed because of technology and monitoring that it is doing, and that's the reason today it's a historic day that Madhya Pradesh, which is also one of the leading states as far as the Awas, the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Gramin and also Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Urban. Madhya Pradesh is one of the leading states. There are other states as well like Uttar Pradesh, Andhra Pradesh, Maharashtra for that matter. So there are various states that have come forward and the construction activity is happening at a rapid pace as far as Awas Yojana is concerned. But yes, earlier also we have seen that Pradhan Mantri under Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has inaugurated various schemes and has done GRIH PRAVESHAM as well. But 1.75 lakh housing units will be inaugurated by Prime Minister Narendra Modi today, and this will be historic as well in this COVID times.
Okay, now looking at the way you mentioned about aggressively going about with it, there is a target that we have set for 2022. Do you see we meeting the target before the deadline?
Well, 2022 is the target, and government will be in a position to achieve this target as far as Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Gramin, and of course for the urban part. So in both the sides, government is moving forward. Now, why it is possible to achieve this target by 2022? It is that because we are seeing a cooperation or coordinated effort as far as center and states are concerned. Now, when we talk about this 1,20,000 rupees of money being transferred in the account of the beneficiary who is constructing his or her house, it is that the 60% of the money is being transferred from the center side, whereas 40% is being transferred from the state side. Now, as far as the northeastern regions are concerned, the hilly regions are concerned, in this context, context, 90% of the money is being transferred from the center side and 10% from the state side. Regions like Ladakh, and entire 100% money is being transferred from the center side. So we are witnessing a center-state coordination as far as this Awas Yojana is concerned. Second important part is that technology is being used. Various new technologies and construction methods are being adopted in both Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Gramin as well and Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Urban region as well, whereby new methods are being adopted as far as construction is concerned. As I told you earlier, Anil, that gone are the days that when we used to construct the houses from bricks, cement, and everything. Now, because of the prefab technology and various other technology and methods, the constructed, the ready-made wall primarily, the ready-made ceiling, the ready-made doors, the ready-made window frames, everything are being constructed in the factory. And wherever the houses are supposed to be constructed, they are being assembled going forward. So housing construction time now takes less time. I mean, this reduces the time by 40% to 50% in many cases. Now, this has also provided ease of construction in the northeastern region as well, in the hilly region as well, where, you know, construction time takes more. But because of the prefab technology that the government is adopting, and government is also focusing upon to bring in and introduce new technologies as well. So yes, construction time has reduced. Cost of construction has also reduced. And as far as Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Urban is concerned, government is also incentivizing people who are taking loans under various categories, that is for economically weaker section, for LIG houses, for middle income group houses part 1, and for middle income group houses part 2. So there are these 4 categories as far as Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Urban is concerned, whereby you get incentive or interest subsidy up to 6% when you take a loan for the construction of the houses. Now, this is for the urban houses, of course, but for the Gramin part, 1,20,000 rupees is directly credited in the account of the beneficiary, so that a housing construction activity can take place. So that's the reason why why India is moving ahead in the direction of, you know, providing Awas or housing for everyone. And not only houses, Anil, the focus is also that how can a livable, a quality life can be provided along with these houses. So we know this fact that government is, you know, has initiated a mega movement called Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. Now, a construction of toilet will also be provided. A construction of toilet will also be done as far as these houses are concerned. Under the Jal Jeevan Mission, water will be a pipeline will be provided to these people and beneficiaries. So yes, a complete environment for the people.
Okay, Arun, thank you and appreciate you joining us. You stay with us. We'll come back to you at the end of the program to get more inputs on what the Prime Minister spoke and the big takeaways from the Prime Minister's speech as the Grih Pravesh ceremony takes place for 1,75,000 houses under the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Gramin in Madhya Pradesh.